What up, world? I go by the name of Jabari. Another Words with Friends podcast is here. And if you're liking the podcast, if you're enjoying the podcast, you can support it with a tip. Go to patreon.com/Jabari. All right. If you're getting value, if you're starting your week off right with some of these conversations, and if you just like it, if you're just enjoying it and want to support independent media, independent podcasts, then go to Patreon, patreon.com/Jabari, and you can leave a $1 tip, as little as $1. And we do 4 podcasts a month, so that's just $4 a month. Cheaper than a sandwich, cheaper than a drink, cheaper than something at Starbucks. All right, patreon.com/Jabari, and leave a tip for the Words with Friends podcast. Right now, I have my man Nigel D, aka the first blogger I ever met in my life, aka Mr. Real Talk and Why. What's good, man?
What's going on? It's been a while.
Yes.
How you doing? I see you doing your thing.
Man, I'm trying, man. I want to first, man, there's so much stuff I want to cover with you. But first and foremost, man, how do you like to be introduced? How do you introduce yourself when you meet somebody that doesn't know you and they ask you, what do you do? What do you say?
First of all, I say I'm an entrepreneur instead of just saying I'm a blogger, because I know I do more than just blogging.
Absolutely.
And I do photography, I do video production, and I'm starting to work towards other things. So I stick with the entrepreneur title for now.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I like to do that too, man. I'm not just boxed into one category, so I always like to say that I'm an entrepreneur. First, I usually say I'm a filmmaker, and then I say I'm an entrepreneur.
Filmmaker does sound kind of cool.
So, man, you run one of the most popular hip hop blogs out, realtalkny.net. Correct?
If you say so. If you say so, I mean. First I want to say, man, when we first met, it was at what? The Christian Artiger. The Christian, long time
man,
ago.
a long time ago. So the dude that makes Ed Hardy and Von Dutch, Christian Artiger, for those that don't know, Nigel and I were doing interviews outside of his, like, what was it like?
He had like a store opening. He had like L Cool J there.
Yeah.
It was a cool little event. I mean, I'm not really used. I wasn't used to red carpets at that time, so it was a good experience.
Yeah.
And it just felt good to be invited to something like that at that point, because my site wasn't really that big at that point. So
were you still a Blogspot at that time?
I think it was. I don't know. I'm not even sure. I probably was past Blogspot days, but
okay.
It was when I was just happy to be invited anywhere at that point.
Yeah. At that point, yeah, for sure. And man, and then like at what year was this? You think?
I can't even tell you.
Yeah, that was probably,
If it comes to me, I'll remind you.
maybe 2007?
Possibly.
Maybe around then?
Or 08.
Or 08? Okay. So this is around the time when there weren't that many hip-hop blogs out, right? So like, who else was in the game at this time? Because I was doing interviews for hiphopgame.com.
Hip Hop Game was around. All Hip Hop, which wasn't really a blog, but they were around. Narite was around. What else was there going on at that time? Two Dope Boys was around.
Two Dope Boys was around, I think, too. Yeah. But it was like in terms of people's, like, you know, you go on the internet, you wanted to hear music and you wanted to hear hip hop music. There was about maybe like 10 places that you could let people know that you were going to, and like those 10 places were like, you know, people knew about them. You know what I mean? Like one of them was in an individual's rotation of websites.
There was a small clique of sites, pretty much.
Yeah. So at that point, when that happened, like what made you start to like want to even get into the blogging game and start your own website?
Well, pretty much I was in college, and I didn't really like going to clubs that often, so I wasn't really in the clubs every weekend or whatever. So I just started going to concerts a lot. And I mean, if I go to a concert, I like to be like near the front or front row if possible. So I used to get like a lot of good footage. So then I thought to myself, I'm getting all this good footage and it's just sitting on my computer, because I'm not going to go back and watch the concert I already seen.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm going to start putting it on YouTube. And then I didn't really know what a blog was. I Googled it one day. And then I just started a free blog on Blogspot. I was like, I might as well put that footage out and let the world see it, because there's a lot of events going on and people never get to see it. There's a lot of special moments at concerts, special guests come out, and they just hear about it, but they don't actually get to see it. That's before Twitter, so they wouldn't even hear about it, really.
Yeah.
So it was really bad, because I used to hate when a big event happens and a concert happens and you just see pictures of it, but you don't get to see the actual performance.
Yep.
You don't get that experience. So that's how I started. I started putting out that footage, and I started a free blog spot, free template, made up my own little bootleg black and white logo and everything.
Yeah. I remember. I think wasn't it just like the logo was it a skyline of New York?
That was before. The first one was like a black and white, some plain regular ass looking real talking.
Oh man.
Before I had a budget for a graphic designer.
Yeah. I mean, man, I go back and look at some of the stuff that I've done, man, like some of the websites that I've had, and this stuff that I put out, I'm so ashamed of it. It's like, oh man.
It's stepping stones.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, it's like you have to start there, man. But man, some of that design aesthetic was horrible. Okay, so walk me through it. So you make the blog, and what were your goals? Were you trying to like get a lot of goals or what?
I mean, I feel if you start anything, you should try your best to make it as big as possible. So I was hoping to get big because I used to look at like all hip hop and a lot of other hip hop sites, and I kind of felt they weren't doing anything I couldn't do myself. Mm-hmm. So I decided to start, and I was still in college at the time. So, I mean, I used to I printed out some business cards and passed them around school here and there. And I used to, I'm not going to lie, I used to go other people's sites and leave links all the time.
One of
those people for a little
spammers.
while. I was on the Soul forums when Soul was popping. Yeah. I was on their forums posting links.
Yep.
I think I did it on Not Right a few times. I think can't like me for that.
That's good.
I respect it though.
Yeah. I think
when you're young and hungry, you do stuff that.
I think I've seen you like trolling and doing stuff like that back in the days, man.
You gotta be a savage.
Nigel's
everywhere. You gotta be a savage at first. I was on all the forums posting links and just working. I mean, that was before Twitter. You can't just tweet links back then, So you just gotta go out there and get it. Man. There's no set formula for getting traffic, pretty much.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's when I first started doing interviews, man. I went to my school's library. I just savaged Howard University's library, and I went and I printed out all my Facebook friends just so I had a list of them, and then I would go and type all their names and send 25 messages. So if I did an interview with somebody, it was
spamming, sir.
Yeah, that was straight spam. That was straight spam. I would just and the max messages you could send were 25 messages to one person or to one, at a time.
Yeah.
And I would just send 25 messages to all the A names.
You gotta be a savage. You gotta be a savage. You gotta be hungry.
But at the same time, nowadays I would never suggest that somebody go about it like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's
nowadays,
it's
easier. Maybe that's why.
It's easier and harder in different ways, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So what was that initial, I guess, life of a blogger or life of somebody who's, because we got cool because we would just see each other at all these events. Really, every event I was trying to get an interview at, you was either coming up next or I was the first one to get in, and then you would get it in, and you know what I mean. It's just it would build this sort of this. When you start seeing people doing the same thing that you're doing, and you see how hungry they are, and you start seeing them out as much as you kind of build this respect. And that's what I felt like with you. I just saw you basically everywhere in New York, whatever event it was, whatever concert, you were there.
I mean, when I first started, I was happy to get invited to anything. I was just please. Because I would see pictures of events, damn, I get invited to that listening session. I could have been there, So it's just whatever they sent me, I took. Mm-hmm. I think, who was that sent me that invite? Somebody at Def Jam sent me an invite to a Nas listening session, and that was Jay-Z was there. I was just damn.
Yeah. I think you got.
I was I'm actually
a picture. Did you get a picture?
Yeah, I got a picture of Jay-Z looking at me mad angry. He had the evil look at me, who is this nigga taking a picture of me right now? But I was just damn. I started getting recognition at that point and started actually making it to events. But life at first was pretty dry because I was to school, come home. I went on the computer all day, and this is all the way back in the days. So I had to go off the computer so I could make phone calls.
Yeah.
This is AOL days. Shit's real back then. I couldn't be on the computer the whole entire day like now, but I had to get off so they could make phone calls and all that. My mother's mad at me because all the phone calls I go into the house because I'm online blogging. So it was just It was a lot of hours. I wasn't really going out that much as I like now. It's totally different. But I had to put in that grind though.
So okay, so let's say, when did you, I guess, start realizing that, okay, I want to take this seriously? Was it like a certain traffic number, or was it a certain like artist that you met, or was it a certain event that you went to where you're like, okay,
it was
this is real?
Two things. One, I finished college. Mm-hmm. So at that point, it was just like, all right, sir, are you going to get a job?
Yeah.
Or are you going to do the site?
Yeah, that's the huge question.
And it's like, can you make a living off this site? And that's the huge question you got to answer. But then the big thing was, I got an email from Uprocks, which was first Ruckus.
Uprocks? I thought that was always Uprocks.
It was Ruckus.
That's how you say it? Uprocks?
Yeah, it's Uproxx.
Hold on, Uprocks. Okay. Yeah. Well, I always wanted to say Uprocks.
It's a UP. You want to say Up? It's a
Uprocks.
Uprocks?
Yeah, like instead of Uprocks. I thought it was. I just thought it was real talking like that. Uprocks.
I thought it was Uprocks. I assume it is, but
they pay you. Why
it was Ruckus at first.
Oh yeah,
it was
okay. That's right.
But I just got an email one day saying someone was interested in like partnering with me. And I think I kind of ignored it, because you know how many spam emails you get, like you can't really take them serious. So then I got another one, and this one had like a figure in it, which was bigger than any check I ever seen in my life at that time. So I was just like, all right, maybe I should take this person serious. So then I called Jared from Ruckus, and we talked, went out to Miami, set up the contract, and then from there the money went a lot higher.
Okay, so now explain to people though that because I know what you're talking about. So Uprocks is essentially an ad network.
Yeah.
Correct. And so, but explain to people like what that means when they reach out to you and want to partner with your site.
Well, I mean, at first I was just getting money from like Google AdSense and like little things here and there, but it wasn't enough money to make a living off of really, and it goes up and down. So with like a blog network, they come in, they handle all of the advertising. So they sell the ads. You just worry about putting up the product, putting up the content, and they handle the hosting fees, which was going crazy too. Mm-hmm. When your traffic gets high, the hosting fees is crazy, and then you got to deal with the traffic, the site going down. You got to hit up the host and all that. It's a lot of stress. So they take care of all that and take care of the advertising. I just got to focus on the content.
Okay, so now when somebody like them comes in, right? So essentially, they're going to now. Does that mean that they flooded your website with ads and it just looked completely different at the time? How did that transition
we
go?
Both like they set up a design for it, a certain format, a certain amount of banners, and then I just approve it, and then from there it's whatever. Okay. Sometimes it's takeovers and all that, but I mean I have no problem with that. It's paying my bills.
Okay, so what made them even interested in you? Was it just like the fact that you were getting some type of numbers and they wanted to have a network of websites so they can be able to say, hey, McDonald's, we have Real Talk NY, we have Smoking Section, we have all these other different websites, and we can reach this many more people because we have all these websites in our ad network?
Pretty much what networks do is they sell a package to companies, so they want to be diverse. You know, they could say, I have these hip-hop sites, I have these movie sites, I have these sports sites, and put it all together. And that way you get way more money from advertisers when they see it's well-balanced, instead of just saying, oh, I got a hip-hop site, send me some ads. Like, it's not going to be the same kind of... They're not going to put a campaign like that to say, you know?
Yeah. Okay. And I guess, so now, are you still working with them? That's
I'm still working with them.
Okay. And how have they helped you out in terms of, like, you know, building the site and all that stuff?
I mean, they gave me the freedom to, you know, do a lot of things. Once I got the contract with them, that's when I really started traveling and started going to video shoots and buying equipment and stuff like that. So
and all of this is solely off of just advertising on the website?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, how many hits do you need to be getting to, you know, really be successful on a web, like just in terms of numbers? Like, what is a successful blog doing traffic wise?
I used to, like, back in the days, look at my traffic like every day, but now I don't even check it no more. So I'm not even sure exactly what, in terms of numbers, what it is, but you definitely need a lot of traffic to be even taken serious at this point. You know that. And sometimes you might just have a name, and that could sell ads too, though. Sometimes people don't even have that much traffic, and they make more than people that have more traffic than them.
How?
Just off their name, branding. People's just, like some people have sites with their name in it and stuff. So stuff like that, it gets you a lot of ads too. And sometimes just having a niche, like you have a certain niche, like a credit card blog or whatever, you might be making more money than blogs that make more traffic than you because they're paying you more for those ads. Yeah,
exactly.
So that's why it's different ways to make money. It's not all about traffic sometimes.
Okay. And so what okay, so when you started, like how did you know that you wanted to expand the website? Like how you said, like when you started getting money from advertising, you were like, is that when you realized, like, okay, this is time, like I don't need to get a job now, I can just
once I did the deal, it was just like, all right, let me just at least try this out for a little while before I end up getting a job. Because I mean, pretty much my whole childhood, I just figured, you know what, I'm gonna go to college because my mother gave me no option. I was going to college or I was end up in the grave. So going to college, going for something with computers, and it's living a 9-to-5 life in a cubicle probably. And I figured, you know what, it wouldn't be that bad because I'll make the most of my vacation days and weekends. So that was my whole game plan. I wasn't gonna be a basketball player. I wasn't gonna be a rapper. I was just gonna have some computer job somewhere and have nice vacations.
But when that ad money started coming through, you were like, nah.
Once the ad money started coming through, I started doing photography more.
Okay.
Because when I first started, I had like a little compact camera and I was doing interviews with him, just holding it in my hand, looking crazy. I remember my first interview with Sean Kingston before he blew up. And I was just looking crazy with this camera in my hand, holding it like
no mic,
nothing, like not even a DSLR, like a regular compact camera, looking crazy. But he respected the grind. We still cool to this day.
Yeah.
So I mean, once the money comes in, pretty much you could focus more and
essentially make it better.
Like let's say BT Awards, I could go out there, fly out. I wouldn't be able to just fly out all the time and go to events like that. But once that happened, I remember I made my first trip to LA for game video shoot with Keisha Cole. That was my first time ever going to Cali. That first time I was to Compton, and then I went to the Beverly Hills. So I got a real experience that first time, man.
Yeah. I mean, but see, I think that what you're saying is pretty telling to making smart decisions when you have funds, right? So like any business, when you start making money from it, it's not like, oh, I started making money, like I'm good, like now I can buy all these sneakers and do this and that and the third. It's like you should funnel that money back into the business and how to make the business grow. So now it's like you can now, instead of just doing interviews in New York, you can travel and do other interviews with other people outside of New York and put that on your site, and that will make the traffic rise, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I got the money, I didn't waste it. Like I put it in the bank, and then I bought like a DSLR camera. I think at the time a Nikon D90. I think tripod, a few business flights. Like I didn't go crazy with it. Like I didn't go buy a car or buy a chain or do something retarded with it.
Yeah. So did you want to start off as, I guess, like a journalist, or were you are you even like when you're doing interviews and things like that, it's like, because you didn't go to school for journalism or anything like that, but it's a part of what you do, right? So like,
when I first started, I didn't really think that far ahead. I didn't ever look at myself as a journalist, but as I went along, I seen how important it is to have original content. So I had no choice but to do interviews and do photography to get the original content. Otherwise, nothing would stand out with the site. So
yeah.
Me getting original content was key to me being known, pretty much. If it wasn't for that, I'd be just one of those thousands of hip-hop blogs that nobody heard of.
Or that fizzled out. So, I mean, but you sound like... Because people ask me all the time, like... Or people will introduce me or something, like, especially when I was really doing interviews hard, like, all the time.
You was doing interviews all the time.
I was doing like one a week.
You was out there.
It was crazy, man. But I think people would think that I was like a hip hop journalist. They would be like,
you were at that point. That's what you were.
I don't think so. I don't really. I always know.
How you define journalist?
Well, I think that a journalist is somebody who is like has a writing background, right? I mean, I know there's like visual journalists, there's video journalists as well, but at the same time, for me, it was more so about creating content and like creating content and creating like entertaining content. I guess I still had like journalistic values where I would do research and I would like try to stay honest in all of my stuff.
You got to research your questions.
Yeah, you know,
so you have to find out what's gonna make headlines and all that.
Exactly,
it's all part of the same thing.
But I to me it's like I wouldn't dare call myself a journalist because there's real
you feel like you're insulting people that have been going
exactly. I feel like a slap in the face to a real journalist.
It's like if I say I'm a DJ, all the DJs have been DJing for 20 years. They're like, look at this nigga, what are you doing? Yeah. So I mean, if I'm still a DJ, if I'm DJing, right? You can't say I'm not. I'm at the party, I'm DJ. What they gonna say? You at the red carpet doing interviews. What they gonna say to you?
Yeah, I feel you. So I guess it's just semantics, but okay. So
there's levels to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's levels to it. And if I was ever at a journalistic level, I was at the bottom barrel of it. Like I'm much more comfortable. Calling myself a filmmaker.
He was getting views.
Yeah. At that time,
there's real journalists that's not getting no views. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, does it matter?
So what? In terms of like the hip hop blog game, man, like what do you think about it now? And like where has it gone? Like are you looking around like, oh, this is dope? Or are you looking around like, oh, this shit is whack?
I think it's interesting to see, how all the sites have grown over the years and adjusted and adapted, and how new sites came about. And I think right now it's pretty hard to try to start a new site unless you got some major backing, pretty much.
That's I mean, yeah, it's kind of the name of the game.
You need something big behind you. You need, because you have to start off with access that regular blog won't get. You have to be able to get interviews and all that. So you definitely need some like corporate sponsor or something behind you at this point. But I mean, I'm not gonna knock nobody. Anybody could try, but they're gonna have some original content that's pretty fly at this point for people to pay attention. Mm-hmm. Just doing the same old blogs that everybody has. I know people complain all the time blogs have the same stories, but it's just like when you watch 10 o'clock news, they all have the same stories. So, I mean...
So how do you try to keep yours different?
I focus on doing original content here and there, and doing interviews, I try to go to like a lot of events. I try to give people access to events that they don't get to go to. Like, I remember I had like video of Drake's first OVO Fest. And I had when Jay-Z and Eminem came out, like, and everybody was watching that. So I mean, because that's a moment that you want to see. You don't want to just see pictures. It's like big in hip hop culture. Like you just don't want to see pictures of that. You want to see the whole thing. You want to see the crowd reaction and all that. That's why I provide that.
How do you get this access, or how did it start?
I wasn't getting access. I just paid for it. I did it the whole way. Oh, I can't get press access? All right, I'll just buy a ticket. What you gonna tell me then?
Yeah. You just be in the crowd with your
Matter of fact, like Summer Jam last year, I could have got press access, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just buy a ticket. I was second row, and I got some great images. Because when you do press, after the first 3 songs, you gotta leave. And in Summer Jam, that sucks because all the artists come out and you on the side, like, damn, I can't get a picture. So it was crazy. So I just said, you know what?
So
I'm just buy a ticket.
You still doing guerrilla stuff, man?
I still always do guerrilla stuff.
Yeah.
That's never gonna change.
Yeah. What was like the latest guerrilla move you pulled?
I was at Nas opening for his documentary, Time Is Illmatic, and I got some footage of that. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. There's an OVO Fest again coming up. There's a few things coming up. I mean, I was at Social Death Fest, but I mean that was a guerrilla style because JD knows me. He invited me, but that was a big concert. He had Jay-Z come out, he had Usher, he had
that was huge. Jay had that like crazy chain. So I
made sure, that's when he debuted that chain.
That chain,
heavy ass chain, So I mean, I got a lot of footage of like stuff like that.
Okay, so I want to talk about how did you start becoming? I mean, because there's a lot of artists that you work with that you're close with. You work with Fab, you work with Bow Wow a lot, JD. How did these relationships start? Were they just like, yo, I got to get on this dude's website? Like,
alright, so I was doing like photography for old hip hop for a little while. Mm-hmm. So I went to a few events and like red carpets and whatever, and just took pictures and whatever. So one time they was like, alright, I need you to follow Fab around for like a day. I think he was having like a listening session for one of his albums. This was years ago though. This was like, I'm trying to think what album it was. I don't know. I'm not sure, but so it's my job to follow.
What's the album where he's in that blue jacket on the Brooklyn Bridge? I think. What was that?
It might be.
Was that Street Dreams? Was it?
I'm trying to think what year it was, but I'm not sure. But so yeah, my job was just to pretty much follow him around for the day, just taking pictures of him, setting up for the listening session, and I think he went to a car dealership, a Bentley car dealership, and yeah, so I was with him the whole day, whatever, and then we was in the studio, and then I told him about my site, So then he put it on his computer and checked it out. And then he added it to his favorites. So then after that, I didn't really see him for a while. But then whenever I did see him, he recognized me. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out that he started really going on my site like every day. So I started talking to him about, him launching a site at some point. And then, like, years later, we actually did launch a site.
MyFabulous.com.
Yeah.
Which was quite big at one point.
Yeah. So pretty much it was from there that we built a relationship. Him checking my site was a big deal. And then after that, Def Jam started hitting me up to do interviews and all that. So I did like a lot of interviews with Fab here and there that got like a lot of views, like stuff with Cat Stacks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, after I still keep seeing them at interviews and stuff like that. That's when I really started working with them, and I helped with the promotion for From Nothing to Something.
Okay.
So I mean, I went to I did the behind the scenes for his video shoots and all that. So no. The album that he was dropping was From Nothing to Something, which was in 2007.
Oh, 2007 From Nothing to Something. Okay.
That's the album he was promoting. But then I helped with the promotion for Loso's Way.
Okay, Loso's Way was the album I was talking about.
I was at all the video shoots and did behind the scene pictures and all that stuff, and set up Skypes and all that stuff for him and all that. So I pretty much did marketing. That was my first time really doing marketing for artists, pretty much. Which was like a natural progression.
Yeah.
If you can market a blog, you can market an artist, pretty much.
Yeah. I think that's what all this stuff is about, right? It's just about natural progressions, man. Like what do you continue going to do? You know what I mean? That's what life should be
pretty
about.
much how life is you think you know how your life is gonna be. Yeah. And then it goes another direction. You're like, shit, I gotta just ride the wave.
Yep. But it's the people who ride the wave. It's the people who actually can shift with the tide that succeed and that do well. It's like if you get hit with the left hook, but you don't know how to weave that joint, you don't know how to take it and bounce back, man. That could be the end for some people.
I think a lot of people go to college and think, all right, I'm going to get this degree and get this job, and that's going to be my whole life. But it doesn't really work that way. A lot of people get a degree and never even do a job in that degree. There's people that have law degrees that never became lawyers. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time. So you got to just see what opportunities come your way and make the most of it in life. That's how it works.
Yeah, man, for sure, man.
So with JD, I used to have a friend at Def Jam, and then he used to just tell me that, because that's when JD was working at Def Jam. Yeah. He used to tell me, JD be on your site. I'm like, word? So then one time I came up to the Def Jam, he was there, and he was like, I'll really be on your site. I was like, yeah, whatever. So then he showed me his recent links, and I had my site. So then after that, I got his number, whatever, and we've just been cool. When he's in Vegas, I come out to his parties all the time, and we always cool. Whenever we in the same city, we link up, act the fool.
Yeah, I've seen it on Instagram.
We have a good time. Yeah, we have a good time. We definitely party.
Nice.
And then Bow Wow, same thing with Bow Wow. I had to interview him for he was doing the album with Omarion. I think it's called Face Off. And then he was like, yo, I'll be on your site every day. I was like, yeah, whatever. Whenever people tell me they be on my site, I always be like, yeah, whatever. So then he showed me his phone and had the link on my site. And I even put it in the interview, I think. I don't know. I took a picture of it or something I did. But he put up his phone and showed the link to my site on his thing. And after that, I just got his number. And we chilled here and there. And, we talk whenever. He's in New York now, so we talk more now. So
nice.
Once in a while, we catch up.
Yeah. So, how has the content though changed, man? Because a lot of we're talking about moving with the current and staying relevant and all that stuff, right? Do you think that your blog's content has changed from what it started?
I think I do way more interviews at this point, and I ask more questions now because people like to be asked questions, and I'm really good at asking questions. It's especially on Twitter. I usually start a riot on Twitter.
Oh yeah, this man.
When I start questions, the whole Twitter light up. Quick. So people like that. People like conversation. So it's it's adjusting to what people like. People like more conversations. Another thing is you gotta be consistent. You gotta always have blogs up constantly because I always meet people and they were like. Because back in the days, bloggers didn't really blog on the weekends, I remember. Cause I used to remember that. They used to just take weekends off back in the days. Yeah. And that's why I was like, you know what? On the weekends, I was working extra hard. Yep. But then some people be like, yo, there's only 3 blogs on the weekend. What's going on? And some people can say that. I'm like, damn, you really be on it like that? And then some people be like, yo, I've been say 4 times a day. I'm like, damn, so I really gotta be on it all the time pretty much. So it's like a 24/7 job.
Is it just you or do you have help?
Pretty in terms of blogging every day, it's just me. I've tried to have bloggers, but they usually start off good and then fizzle out quickly. And that's a common thing though, because I've heard friends say the same issue.
That's a common theme. That's a common theme with everything, man. Like with anybody, a lot of people talk about how much they want to be involved, or hey, I want to help, or hey, I want to do this, and yeah, man, it's like people are just not as hungry as they claim to be.
Well, I mean, blogging is tedious at times. Like
and blogging is
sometimes
very
you just
hard,
don't feel like you don't feel like it. Like you're just tired of it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's, some people they'll blog on a site for like a couple of weeks and they feel like they should be getting a lot of money. I guess I don't know, but I'm just like it's not that. What you're doing is not that serious.
Yeah.
And plus, a lot of times I post so much that it's hard for them to even get a chance to post anything. Cause I be posting so much like all day, so it's like I'll beat them to most of the posts. So
do you post from your phone at all?
I try not to. Only in emergencies. It has to be like a major post. Otherwise, I really just wait till I get home. But it's possible to do it on the phone now with the new technology we have. Okay. But it's not ideal. But it can be done if it's needed. Copy and paste it. It just takes a little while, but it can be done.
Yeah. So what? Okay. You know, there's obviously the hip hop sort of blogging thing that you got on lock and that you've been doing and that you've been good at, but at the same time, what I've noticed over the past 2-3 years with you is you started doing something called Saturday Night Vixens, and and for those that don't know, Saturday Night Vixens is just Nigel would post basically some of the baddest women and the most beautiful women in the game, in like the hip hop model world, I guess, and you post them on the website, and it would be like 30 pictures, and if I ever scrolled on that joint, I'd be like, wow, like what is going on here? And that sort of became, people would come to the site to check for that, you know, and they would like associate you with having these women. So what having these women on the site, what made you start like getting into that realm and like having that type of content?
I mean, back in the days, King was big, but then when King fell off, there was not really a place to even see women that are like to really just think, you know, a destination. So I started off Saturday Night Vixens on my site, and I would just pick a random beautiful woman and post like 30 pictures of her or whatever amount of pictures of her. And I was doing that for a long time, and then I fell off and I stopped doing it. Then I brought it back because it was something that, you know, it made my site stand out from other sites. Because other sites wasn't really posting women. They was just posting straight hip-hop. So that's when I brought it back. And then I changed the format where it was just 30 different women this time around. And with Instagram, that made my life a lot easier.
I'm
sure it did. I'm sure it did. Back in the days, this is Google images. And sometimes people would email me like, yo, can you take my pictures down and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's a hassle, but... A few women contacted me about it though, but some of them were happy about it. But I changed the format around and to take advantage of Instagram pretty much. Like all these women are posting their pictures online for free. I can take advantage of it.
You just embed that.
I'm taking advantage of them posting it for free pretty much. Since they don't realize they can capitalize off of it, I'll capitalize off of it. Shout out to all those ladies though.
So
they get likes, I'm getting money. So at the end of the day, they get promotion though.
I think some of them are getting like. Okay, what do you just think about the quote unquote Instagram model? Like there are models that are like, you know, traditional models and they're on Instagram, but then there are girls who are just like scantily clad on Instagram. And I don't know how they're making a living. It's not even my business how they're making a living.
Some of them are making a living off hosting parties. Believe it or not. If they get their Instagram followers up, they will get bookings. That's why they got booking emails. Yeah. But some people ain't got that kind of following to be, you know, even trying to do that. But, I mean, they get money here and there off the bookings. Going to the club, get a few $100s. Sounds easy to me. I wish I could get booked. But hopefully in the future.
But now
I changed it to Beauties of the Week because Vixens is a played out term now. The girls that people call Vixens, when I'm with them, chilling with them, they don't want to be called Vixens. Like they don't want that name no more.
So that brings us to our next question. How did you begin to like get cool with some of these girls because I see some of these girls tweeting you all the time, like they want to get on the website, all that stuff. How did that start to happen?
Pretty much just going out, going to events, introducing myself. Sometimes they'll see that they're on my site, and they'll be happy about that, and I just talk to them, and then I'm a pretty cool guy, so when I meet these girls, I'm not like thirsty or anything or like trying to chase them down. So they cool with me, It's the guys that are thirsty and try to use whatever power they have to try to get them.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I'm an executive here, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is what turns women off pretty much.
That's like the cardinal sin with what men do in trying to
especially
get women.
In the industry, that's all they do.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't be doing none of that stuff, though. So I just be chilling, and they like chilling with me, man. And they're usually cool girls, so it's just cool, nothing crazy.
And so, how did I know at some point like you were shooting photography for like certain models and doing stuff like that. Are you still doing that as well?
I slacked off, but I'm gonna start doing photo shoots. So I think it's a natural progression.
Especially if you're posting like these beautiful women and people are coming there for that. Why not shoot the photos that you're posting?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a natural progression. It's gonna happen. I know all these girls already too, so this makes it way easier. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of me just getting into it. I just haven't really had that much experience in the studio. That's what it is. Okay. And probably buy a few more lights. Yeah. But the shoots I have done have got a good reaction. Yeah. Shout out to Sydney Dean in Miami.
What? I guess what's like the future? What do you see this stuff going? Like for instance, like just because we're on like the Instagram models topic, right? Like, where do you see that going? Like, is it going to get crazier with like the amount of girls on Instagram, quote unquote, trying to be a model?
I think it already is crazy.
Yeah, it's at record numbers right now. But like, what?
Everybody think they have a fan base now.
Yeah. So, but like, what is the future of this stuff? Like, where is it going? Where is it going? Where does it end? Like, what's the next iteration of it?
I think the smart ones are gonna build a brand off of whatever image and fans they have.
Sort of, you know.
See how like Terry has calendars and all this kind of stuff, and I think they just have a focus on their branding. You see how Drea she's on TV. She has clothing line. She has a swimwear line. Like
Tazs Angels.
Yeah,
another bit. I found myself talking about these girls. Go ahead. I found myself talking about these girls like over the past 3 weeks with like 3 different guys, and a lot of ladies actually as well. But they have a clothing line apparently. These girls. For those that don't know, Tazs Angels is like a group of girls apparently on Instagram, and you can go check out like at Tazs Angels or something like or _ just Google Tazs Angels, and they all sort of live in this house apparently in Miami maybe.
They live in Taz's house.
They live in Taz's house, and they have a clothing line / I forget what the clothing line is called, but like apparently the slogan is like bad bitches link up. Yeah, and when they go to these different cities, like they host these parties, and then they also have this clothing that they sell. And I went to the website, and actually it was like, I don't know if the clothing was available, but I was like, oh, this is smart. Like these girls have merch. Like I see, it's almost like they're in control of their own reality show on Instagram. That's how I feel like that.
Some comedians do that too. They have like comedic series on Instagram.
Yeah.
They get
which is dope. Which is dope.
I mean, look at how Lil Terrio got famous off of Vine. Like, it is possible to really market yourself and create opportunities if you take advantage of it.
But I think you should just, I think you have to have an end game, or you have to have a plan, or you can't just be doing things aimlessly. Like I'm just trying to.
I'm pretty sure though, Lil Terrio's dances were done.
Well, yeah.
There was no end game for that.
Well, what I'm saying is
sometimes you just gotta go with the flow. I think he just went with the flow. Sometimes you really plan it, But sometimes when you plan things, they don't go out the way you want to.
You're right. But
especially with like internet, you can't just plan what's gonna be viral or not. Like you might think, oh, this is the greatest shit ever. You put it out, nobody looks at it. You're like, damn. You put out some other bullshit and it's a million views. You're like, yo. Yeah. So you kind of gotta ride the wave. Like you can have a goal in mind, but you can't. There's no guaranteed steps to do anything. Pretty much.
Yeah. No. What I meant was more so like, okay, if you're somebody like a Taz's Angels, right? Like, you should be thinking about how to make this bigger than just like
at this point. But when they first started, what were they playing?
I don't know.
They just want to get some likes. They was twerking for likes at first. They went from twerking for likes to getting booked to clubs, you know. So
twerking for likes to so for instance, like maybe it's like a twerk team too, like twerk team to me is like the OGs of like twerking for likes, I guess, or like I mean because that wasn't even for likes, that was for like
the crazy thing about twerk
YouTube
team,
views.
their videos get so many views, but if they had sense, they would have had original beats on the video, so they could have got paid. Yeah. But since they was using other people's songs, they couldn't get paid off those videos. It's
certain things like that I see people making mistakes all the time like that I want to just go and fix. I would just say, hey, you should be doing this. And like, I just...
Yes, getting a partner account with YouTube is a big deal. It's definitely
you should never use content that is not your own. You can make money.
Yes, but...
why don't people realize that?
I don't know. But like, I mean, them using their songs is part of the reason they got popular, because when people on YouTube search the songs... Then they see, hey, I can listen to the song and watch this girl shake her ass. I'm going to click on this one instead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes their videos might get more views than the actual music video.
Yeah, it's true. Now, even nowadays, man, I'm not going to name names and name companies, but, you know, there are companies that are trying to, I mean, just... like, they're trying to hire these Vine celebrities, these twerk girls, and they're trying to say, hey, can you please dance to our artist's song and twerk in it, and, like, we'll pay you for it.
For, like, a viral video.
Yeah.
Even labels are doing that, though. Like, Def Jam did that for a few artists.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even, like, unspoken. It's, like, it's just, that's sort of the way it's going now. I mean, so, yeah, what do you think about, like, the future of music and marketing music? And, like, what makes you click on something? You know what I mean? Like, a blogger, somebody who gets inundated with all this content all the time. What makes you get interested in, like, a new artist?
I mean, I'm constantly checking my emails and giving artists a chance. I have, like, a popping or flopping section on my site, so or a series. So I just, you know, give people that don't have that major fan base a chance. So like if they email me a song and I like it, I just post it. And like even on Twitter sometimes I was like, people send me music, and if I like it, I post it. If I don't, it is what it is. Yeah. So like people from labels send me music all the time, and I check it out. But if I don't like it, I'm not really gonna mess with it. Mm-hmm. And that's when they start texting me and calling me like, yo, you post that song for me. But in terms of now, presentations are important. Like you need to have everything on point. Your images for your singles, your videos, everything just has to be organized and on point to get attention, pretty much.
Do you know about this kid Rory? He dropped a video called God's Whisper.
Nah,
like a 16-year-old kid, or maybe young kid from Atlanta. Good. It's dope, man, and the presentation was just so on point, and like it came out, and a lot of people started talking about it. But it's just because essentially there's this young 16-year-old kid in high school, and he's making videos that, you know, in terms of quality, can compare with like.
So yeah, that's like how Tyler Creator, when he came out with his videos, that's how he really got big, because his videos were so on point. Yeah, and that helped him his whole movement pretty much. Yeah. So having good visuals is always important, and there's a lot of producers and directors out there these days, so there's really no excuse.
There's no excuse, man. That, you know, somebody.
Cameras are so cheap. My first video camera was like $2,000. Now you get DSLR cameras for like $600,
something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's. I tell people this all the time that are trying to do something, you know, that a lot of people are trying to do, is that, look, there's no excuse. There's kids in high school making content that's like on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like there's kids that are doing stuff that is at such a high level, and they're just doing it for fun. So you, as a grown person, you know what I mean? It's like if somebody in their 30s or in their late 20s is talking to me about like, oh, well, I'm not good at doing this, and I could be doing this, but like I don't want to learn how to do this, or I don't want to put the work in. It's like, what?
To learn at all times. It's
always. That's what life is.
When I was doing my site, I could have said, you know what, I'm going to just get a photographer. I'm going to just get a video editor. I'm not doing all this. But nah, I did it myself, because sometimes you got to just learn and do it. It's always better to know how to do it by yourself at least.
Yeah. And at the same time, when you know how to do certain things by yourself, especially in the creative realm, what I've found is that it's easier to tell people how you want it done. You know, like, I don't know how I don't know how to graphic design, right? But like I've spent so much time with graphic designers on things, and I've like really asked questions and learned and and so now whenever I need graphic design work done, I can sort of explain to my graphic designers what I need created. Like I know what kerning is, and I know what like certain terms that they know how to talk about, a certain lingo that like they use. I know what that is, but that's just from like surrounding myself with those people and like being willing to learn. I think that's
the
a must.
advantage. You get the best product that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what's your goals now? Like what's in the future for you? What are you trying to do?
Since I've transformed into Nigel International D now.
Yo, yeah, man, this guy, Mr. Jet Setter, man. I'm trying to get like you.
I've been traveling around the world now, so now I feel like I'm gonna start a lifestyle website now.
Okay.
And
like sort of like focus on travel.
It's gonna have fashion, travel, editorials. It's just stuff that can't fit on Real Talk NY. Because sometimes I have like friends that have clothing lines or all kind of stuff, and they want me to post it. I'm just like, it doesn't really fit on my site. So I need another platform to get out other things. Like I post all my travel pictures on Real Talk NY now, but it doesn't really fit on Real Talk NY. So I just need to have like another site where I could actually do stuff like that. And I'm gonna start doing travel vlogs and all that. Because some people, they're scared to travel. They're scared to leave the country. Man. They're scared to go over the Atlantic.
Nah, you got to, man. They just
want to go to Miami and Vegas all the time. Or they might go to Cancun or DR if that's a big trip for them. But sometimes they're just scared. And then if they see me doing it, I think that'll make them feel more comfortable. If I do a video vlog showing my travels to Dubai or something, and they're like, you know what, it ain't even that hard to make it out there. So I'm gonna have that site, and then I'm gonna give tips on how to afford trips like that.
That's a big thing.
There's a lot of things you can do to make it easier on yourself. Like
just give me an example real quick.
Pretty much like getting certain credit cards and getting mileage accounts.
Oh, for sure.
Like I could pretty much go anywhere in the world right now, and it wouldn't cost me that much. So just off the miles alone. So just learning now, I just learned that game like really 2 years ago. I just figured all that out. Like I started Googling it, and I just started looking at it hard, and then I realized, you know what, I'm missing out on a lot of opportunities. Because it's money I'm spending anyway. Like, some people, they always say, I only use cash. I look at them like they crazy. Like, there's no benefit for using cash.
None.
Credit cards, like, I have American Express card. If I lose something, they'll reimburse me. Like, not even if it's stolen, if I lose it, they'll reimburse me. And then I get points on top of that. So, like, everything makes more sense to use credit cards. You just need to have, discipline.
For sure. For discipline and have a knowledge and understanding of the benefits and pay it. Yeah, I mean,
there's no benefit to cash. You could just get robbed and your cash is gone. If they ever take my credit card, I'll get that money back. But yeah, the lifestyle site is definitely something I might launch soon. Probably in May. I'm gonna get a few travel vlogs going. So then I'm gonna start the whole travel vlog series. Just like just documenting my travels and giving tips here and there, and like maybe show certain places like, here's the tallest building in the world, give you a look at that, or pyramids of Egypt or whatever, pyramids of Giza or whatever you say it.
I think it's Giza.
Yeah. So stuff like that I could just highlight, and then hotel reviews maybe, start getting working with more of like corporate sponsors. Because I don't think we have that right now in terms of the urban community. Like, who would you look to right now in terms of like travel and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, man, you're right. I mean, my buddy Marcus Troy, he's like a travel guy. He does a lot of stuff with travel. But for sure, man, it's something that I'm trying to get into as well myself, man. It's just, I mean, I travel a lot. A lot of it is for work, but I also want to now sort of share these travels and encourage travel. And that's a big thing with like this party being bi-coastal and this merch that I have coming out I was telling you about. It's like, it essentially is looking to promote travel and to promote like being outside of your comfort zone and just learning more things and all that stuff, because it's, number one, it is cool as fuck to do, and number two, like it's necessary, and like we need to be doing that, especially as young black entrepreneurs and yeah, man, there's so many benefits to travel. Actually, travel becomes like a big theme in this podcast, man. I was just talking to to Karen Silva a few weeks ago about that, and
she was just in Dubai.
Yeah,
shout out Karen Silva. She's on me. I know Karen since she first started.
Yeah, man. We all were like starting together, which is crazy.
From the bottom, now we're here. Yeah. But now travel is like a passion to me now. Like I think some of the greatest moments of your life is gonna come outside the comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Like, so the biggest memories you're gonna have are gonna be places that you didn't expect to be, and like the first. I mean, when I started late traveling, pretty much, because I didn't really go anywhere as a child. I was just in Brooklyn. I might have went to like Florida. That was the biggest trip I took when my childhood. I didn't go out the country, none of that stuff. Which is like the case for a lot of people in Brooklyn. Right? They don't travel the world like that. Sometimes they go away for school and all that, but I didn't do all that. But that's good. I would hope to give my kids the opportunity. But like I said, I didn't have the opportunity, so I didn't travel at all as a kid. And then my first trip overseas, I think it was with Fab. Because I was documenting his tours, and then he went.
Did you guys go to what, Paris?
Yeah, he went to Paris and London and Manchester, and so that was my first time out there, and I was hyped. I love
Manchester. Manchester's really dope.
I was only in Manchester for a night, like it was crazy.
Yeah, did you guys do it at the MEN Arena? Do you remember that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But nah,
yeah, that's where I was with.
Tour life
Tiny.
is kind of crazy. Like sometimes you don't really get to experience places.
Yeah, you just see the venue. You just see the basement of a venue.
It depends. For Paris, well, actually we met in London first, and I flew out a day before them. So I was in London by myself for a day, and I knew somebody out there. Social media, you could know people around the world. So you got to use the advantage. I met up with a blogger. Hip Hop Chronicle, he had a site out there.
Oh, yes. Come on, man.
Shout out to the homie. I met up with him, and he showed me around London, and I was just like in the middle of nowhere, like, where am I? Like, it was a whole nother world. Like, I was out there by myself. And that's like a great experience, even though it might be kind of scary because you don't know where the hell you at. You don't know where to watch out for. Because I was on the train, he's like, yo, those buildings over there? Don't go over there. Yeah. Like, look, just like the projects in Brooklyn. Yeah, I get the idea quick, I learned quick. Yep. So, our first time was out in London. Then we went to Paris, and then we went to Manchester, and then it was a good time. It was a good experience. When we went to London, to Paris, you could see the Eiffel Tower from the hotel. It was crazy. As soon as I dropped my bags off, went straight to the Eiffel Tower. It was like a few blocks away. Like it was crazy. So that was a fun experience. It was for like an international basketball tournament. So I got to be there for a couple of days, and then I went to a few places with Fab, Jamaica. We went on recently, like last year, we went on tour in Europe, Germany and Luxembourg, and it was a lot going on. But with the south of France with Fab too, I shot a music video over there. In Cannes.
Yeah, Cannes is beautiful, man. That's literally one of my most favorite places in the world, man.
Coming from Brownsville, Brooklyn to south of France.
That, man, the Mediterranean Sea, all the rocks and stuff.
I don't think a lot of people from Brownsville, Brooklyn make it to the south of France, so that was a good experience. So then traveling with him, it showed me that, you know what, I could do these trips. It ain't that big a deal. It's just getting over that hurdle. So then after that, I started doing my own trips because, again, when you're doing business trips, you don't get to do whatever you want. Like I can't just go and explore the whole city. I'm gonna have to be doing some work, so I can't just run around and do whatever I want. So I started taking my own trips. So for my 28th birthday, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do a real trip. I'm doing it by myself. I think I brought somebody with me, but that's not important. You already know how Twitter is.
We'll keep that on the low. Low.
They keep talking about fly out girls. Don't believe it. Don't believe that.
I do see that. What do they call fly out season?
Listen, I'm gonna address fly out season afterwards. But so I took a trip to Rome, then I went to Dubai, and on the way back I went to Egypt. So I was in Rome. I was in Rome for a night. No, I was in Rome for like a day. I landed like 8 at night, and I had a tour booked. They came pick me up from the hotel, drove around the whole city of Rome that first night. I was in and out real quick. The next day I left to Dubai. I was in Dubai 3 days, and then I went to Egypt. I was there for a day. Went to the pyramids and everything. I could see the pyramids from my hotel. So that was like the first real trip I took on my own. So then I took another trip. The trip I took last year that was big was I went to Tokyo, Beijing, and Hong Kong.
When you're traveling alone, I guess what are some things that you would tell people to look out for, or like how do you book what to do? How do you know what to do when you're going places alone?
Well, sometimes, most of the time I have company, but if I can't get company, I just do it myself. I was in Hong Kong and Barcelona by myself.
No, but okay, so even
I
if
was
you
in
do have
Amsterdam by
company,
myself too.
but how do you know what to like do when you get there?
I do research. I
Yeah.
Google everything. Like I don't have no travel planner. I just do everything. I plan all my trips. I go TripAdvisor and then show you the top activities, the top hotels, and everything, top restaurants. And I just like I look at the top attractions. I Google the city and see the most visited places and see what's interesting to me. Pretty much like what do I have to see?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you
Google
go to
is your
cities,
friend.
they have like stuff set up for tourism. Like you go to the hotel or something, or they have like buses and all that. So like went to Hong Kong, and Barcelona, they had like a bus that take you over the whole entire city. So once you get on that, you good. Like you going everywhere, and then you could have set up certain tours. So I remember I was in Hong Kong, I went to like this big Buddha, and it was just crazy. Like the whole experience getting there was crazy. Like you had to go on this huge tram with mountains and water, and it's just like you're in a whole nother world. Like, but it was a great experience. So I'm about to get another trip soon. I'm thinking like Thailand, Singapore, and I don't know. I gotta make it out to Africa. I mean, I've been to Egypt, but it was like a Middle Eastern country. It wasn't really that many black people that I saw. So I want to do like like Kenya or something like that and go to a safari. But it's just a matter of time. I might do it this year. I'm not sure yet though.
I'm sure you're gonna be going a lot more places, brother. Well, Nigel International D. Thank you so much, sir.
Hold on a second. I have to address flyout season.
Oh yeah, you go ahead, please.
Listen, if you could travel a lot, you're gonna want company. Like certain places you're gonna go, you ain't gonna go by yourself. Like I would go like a major city by myself, but I'm not gonna go to like the Maldives, Fiji, Hawaii.
You don't want to take a nice young lady with you.
Yeah, I mean at times there's nothing wrong with that, guys. You want to make the most of it. Like spend the extra money to make sure you have a great time. Think about that. Imagine you spend $1,000 to go on a trip somewhere and you don't even enjoy it. You're gonna look back. You know, I could have spent a little bit more money, and would have had a great time. Like, so I mean, keep that in mind sometimes.
Yeah. Company
does help, but I mean, if you can't get company, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You heard it from Mr. Flyout season himself.
No,
I'm just kidding. No. But seriously, I for sure everything you said, I definitely agree, man.
But in terms of how the game changed, I think Twitter changed everything. I think it made life easier for a lot of people. But sometimes, if you post too many links, it comes off as spam. So that's why I make sure to, talk to everybody. So it ain't like I'm just throwing links at them. I'm really good at interacting with people. So that's why they really pay attention to me. So it's part of me building my brand too. Because, I want to have a brand separate of Real Talk NY. Nigel D is his own brand. Real Talk NY is his own brand. My new site is going to be his own brand. You got to diversify pretty much. You don't want to be stuck in a box. And sometimes people put themselves in a box. It's like you're a reality show star. You don't want to be stuck in that box of being a reality show star. Like you want to do other things. You want to branch out. Just like when girls are called Vixens, they don't want to stay being Vixens. They want to do other things. Like I have a friend, Kyra Chaos. She's DJing now. So I mean, she's branching out to that. She's taking her time learning the craft. Of course, you're gonna have some haters. They're looking at her like, damn, what do you think you're doing? But let her do her thing. So I mean.
I think though, man, we're living in a time where there's no limits, man. You can do whatever you want right now.
The only limits is what you put on yourself at this point. Like you could go on YouTube and pretty much learn everything. Like all the credit card stuff I learned, I just Googled it and learned it. Like, you can pretty much learn anything you want online for free. It's just a matter of you getting off Twitter, getting off whatever sites you want. Yeah. Get off the porn sites and learn something.
Absolutely.
You should learn something every day online.
Oh my God! I just said this the other day on Twitter, man. I was talking every day. I don't learn something or I don't get a piece of new information. I really feel like I wasted the day.
Like I learned something about like retirement and all that stuff. I just started Googling that, and that saved me thousands of dollars just off Googling that. It saved me thousands of dollars.
Yep. Like
it can really change your life if you just pay attention to the internet and use it to your best of your ability. It can enhance everything you're doing in life.
Absolutely.
It's not just for fun. It can make you money, and it can make you a better person. Think about it, guys and girls.
With that being said, man, seriously, thank you so much, bro. And yes, so you guys know every Monday, I'm hoping that this podcast enhances your life. I'm hoping that you get some type of gems and you get some information that you could really use and use these tools and use this information and hear some of this stuff from the people that are actually doing it. Some of my friends that are really doing amazing things. And if you're enjoying it and if you're getting something out of it, please give a little bit of value back and support at patreon.com/Jabari. Again, you can support with as little as $1 each podcast, and you can set your max, and your max can be whatever you want. You can only give $2 a month. You can only give $1 a month, whatever. But yes, support independent media at patreon.com/Jabari. And for those that are in Los Angeles, my next party, Colors, is coming up May 2nd. Go to la.mycolorsparty.com. All right, la.mycolorsparty.com, and you can get tickets and information there. And yeah, man, Nigel, tell them where they can find you.
You can always check me on realtalkny.net, and my Instagram and Twitter is Nigel NIGEL_D.
Awesome. All right, I'll put all the links in the show notes, and you guys already know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. All right, it's Words with Friends. Please leave a comment in the iTunes store. Words with Friends podcast, search that, and that is pretty much it. All right, I'll see you guys, or I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, peace.